Welcome to Natural Habitat Adventures Daily Dose of Nature. Today's topic, climate change consequences, altering the ocean's chemistry. Presented by NatHab Expedition Leader Arpita Dutta. I'm your host, Rob Mess. Thank you for being here with us today. Take it away, Arpita.
Thank you so much, Rob, and thank you everyone for tuning in today for the webinar. I'm always glad to share whatever I am learning, whatever we are seeing in the nature. And because I know whoever is present, we all love being in nature and we think about it. So it's just a small introduction, I would say, because the topic is literally huge, and I think, around the world, in every corner, we have been struggling about this climate change and this whole entire thing. So yeah, let's go. Let's see how it goes. So just like when we talk about climate change, we often think about like rising temperature, melting ice, extreme weather, which we all are facing either way, which we haven't seen in last 20 years, and we have been witnessing these, all the changes now, and it's happening pretty rapidly. That's also, I think we can realize that. And it's a crisis we all are living in. And we probably know the reason behind it. And there is a huge change in the global surface temperature, which is like every now and then coming into the newspaper, the articles, all the publications, and everything related to climate, environmental, and climate oriented topics. So, and and all this is happening. It's a huge change, especially when, if we go long back, like 100 or 200 years back, before the pre-industrial revolution, and now we can see that drastic change. And the more the years are passing, things are happening very quickly. Though the percentage, when we talk about percentage or giving it in a number, it looks pretty small, but the effect they are doing, like the effect is happening, it's huge, which is becoming irreversible. So for example, imagine like Earth temperature in was surface temperature was around 1.36 degrees Celsius in 2003. And can you guess, like by 2004, the global surface temperature reached 1.54 degrees centigrade. I mean, though it's a small hike, but it's changing so many things in so many ways. And we have been witnessing the effect of climate change globally, that's for sure. But now, the situation, like we are talking about this all climatic thing which is happening in the atmosphere, on the land, but like there is another crisis unfolding beneath these waves, and we cannot see it, but the effect is, or the effects are devastating. It's the ocean acidification. I think most of us have heard about the coral reef is disintegrating, it's just dying. But the matter behind it is much more serious. It's not only the coral we are focusing in, it's the entire world, you know. And this often, because it's like in hand, these two things are happening in a larger scale, and that's why it's also referred to as a climate change's evil twin. And this both problem, or rather I would say the same problem, um, are done by the same evildoer, which is carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So let's talk about what is like when we talk about this water and the ocean, sorry, the land and the ocean, firstly, we think about like which is the place which absorbs more of the carbon dioxide. We know about trees, right? Um, but it's actually the ocean. The ocean absorbs most of the carbon dioxide, almost 30% from the atmosphere. And the thing is, being the larger mass, like it covers 71% of our planet. We know that's only one third is land, two third is water, and it holds more organism than which is there on land, almost 94% of the living organism. And as I said, it absorbs 30% of our like human emitted or nature emitted carbon dioxide. It's also balance the carbon dioxide cycle in many different ways and produce half of the oxygen what we are inhaling. It also, the ocean regulates the weather patterns, because the changing of the warm and the cold current in the water that changes the weather and the climate. That's we face, that is the natural way how it behaves. And these are the natural things, and it also, ocean generates 5% of the global GDP. And it is still, though after a lot of like flight and stuff, but still it holds the 80% of the world trade route, and it's almost supports maybe more than 3.3 million jobs. So ocean in our life plays a very important part, rather very significant part. And so, and it's of course the largest ecosystem on Earth, depending on how many species it's holding. And so, what is ocean acidification? Which we are still knowing about it, but it did not spread yet as we know about climate change, about global warming. So it's a silent crisis at the moment. So what is that? We know that ocean water or water has a pH balance, and ocean acidification happens when this pH balance in the ocean water reduces. And how does it like happen? The ocean water absorbs the carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide molecules like combines with water molecule, producing this I mean, sorry, give me a moment. Producing this carbonic acid. And carbon is a good combining thing. But with that, it reduces how it reduces. Like when the carbonic acid again it breaks into hydrogen ion and decreases, and these excess hydrogen ions actually decreases the pH of the ocean, so make it more acidic. This is how it goes. And with that, and since the industrial revolution, the concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere has increased due to burning of fossil fuel, and also the land use change. It's so very important that how we are uh, like creating all this mess for ourselves and the next generation, of course. And the seawater, and the seawater pH balance decreases. Just to give a short, you can see the graph, but just to give a small thing, within 30-35 years, how it has changed is the pH balance decreased from 8.11 to 8.05 within just 35 years. It's almost 15% increase in acidity. And there are too many new researchers, and the researchers who are researching on this particular subject are coming with it, that by end of this like these years or this time, by 2100, the pH could drop to 7.8, mainly the seawater, like which can make it around 150% more acidic. Too many numbers. It's sorry, too many numbers. It's difficult to cope up with all this. But the thing is that it is happening super fast. Like uh, the the ocean acidification is happening almost 10 times faster than in the past 300 million years. I mean, imagine we all have like crawled out from the ocean. We means the evolutionary tree, if we consider, then everything started from ocean. And now when things have started deteriorating, things were not there when we were not present. And now, after our presence, all these things are taking place. Like it's our sources getting like messed up. But yeah, uh, due to this, a lot of things is getting affected. Firstly, the impact on the marine life. The number of negative effects are happening on the shell organism, because this shell organism extract that calcium and carbonate ions, which is like a byproduct of the hydrogen and the carbonate ions. They combine it together and forms the calcium carbonate crystals, which helps them to build up their shell. And due to this increase in acidification, the shell are getting dissolved, or they are unable to create that hard shell over it. And it is happening very rapidly. Like this one is how it looks like. This is within 45 days. When the researchers were testing, within 45 days the shell has transformed like this. So if you can imagine the porosity of it has formed due to ocean acidification. It actually happens like osteoporosis, how exactly the bones looks like. So they are facing, it's not only one or two species, the entire marine life is facing this. And depending on that, like the low balance, like the low pH balance, how it is reducing, it is difficult for them to adopt because it's happening so fast. They are not getting enough time to evolve with the new with the adoption of whatever is happening around them. So it's either their population is decreasing or they are unable to survive. And it's also includes the reef building corals, uh, and the pteropods, like the tiny snails. So for that, there are other, it's a huge mass which is falls under the primary food source for like small fish, whales, jellyfish, and other large planktons are the zooplanktons, which has a shell, like they are very much, you can see, though they are very transparent, translucent look like, but they need that calcium carbonate to sustain. And some marine animals also like spend first stages of their lives as planktons and feed on these zooplanktons like the crabs, shrimp, sea stars, snails, clams. Imagine the entire, there are many more, but they survive feeding on these zooplanktons. Now imagine the entire huge area and the primary source of food and the consumers, they are surviving till date, how to keep the balance. And now due to the more human activity, the more emission of fossil fuel, burning of fossil fuel and emission of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, this entire balance is getting disrupted. Like there is a huge change in that balance. And not only that, so it creating like a disrupt end of a complex food, web. Weak shells, because what happens when it is a weak shell, they have to consume, like produce more energy to survive, to fight the disease, everything. So their size, capacity, their formation, everything has been compromised due to this increase of acidity in the sea water. Apart from these zooplanktons, which are tiny creatures, we are losing the coral reefs. You know, the coral bleaching, we know that. But it has the same effect, not only for the pollution, but it also has the same effect on the corals. And we know that being a very small percentage of coral present in this entire ocean, but it is a habitat which thrives almost 25% of the marine creatures, the marine life. Like their life cycle they spend in the coral reef. And because of there's less calcium carbonate which they like absorbs, it helps to build the coral, it is not there, and they are becoming very brittle as well. Like imagine a huge wave crashing on this, or a storm, they are unable to hold themselves. And because of that, they are even like the recovery process for the corals are also decreasing. So we are like when we talk about the ocean acidification, it is happening in a much larger way below the ocean, which we cannot see. And that's, I think, still a problem because we hardly talk about it. And with the coral reefs, this coral bleaching, it's the climate change, the pollution, too much of warm, the cold, the weather change, all is happening together. So imagine the whole entire habitat is on threat due to these evil twins. And as we were discussing, that it is affecting the entire food web as well as the economic growth, because there are a lot of people who are who are living on the coast, or they are surviving for due to this like animals or the marine life, they depend on the ocean, and that is also getting disrupted. So yeah, this whole entire network is just chopping off. So, and here with that, we have another problem which is definitely happening is the migration and the survival of the offspring rate. So when we talk about migration, imagine due to this food web is getting chopped off, or there is no continuation how it goes from what the marine life they need to feed. And now if this zooplanktons or the creature which feeds on zooplanktons, and those creatures are fed by the bigger marine animals, if they are not getting the zooplanktons, they are moving out in a different area. And the bigger one who feeds on those small fish or other crabs or snails, they are also moving away from that area. And to have a happy balance uh, ocean bed, it is difficult to sustain, because every creature has a contribution towards to keep that ocean bed healthy. So this migration is taking place, and it is also affecting the economic uh, possibilities for the people who depends on it. And then comes to, just to give an example of it, like the survival of the offsprings. um, I couldn't stop bringing this turtle thing here. Like we have only 7 species of sea turtle in the world, and all are under threat. Firstly, the pollution they are facing, the plastic pollution, the light pollution, and of course, there are other factors which are leading to their like threat towards extinction. But due to this ocean acidification, what is happening is when the females are coming out of the ocean, they are laying their clutch. One thing is happening that they are losing because of the less absorption of calcium carbonate. It has been shown in few areas, or but still it's under progress, like research, that their shell are becoming very brittle. This is one. Second thing is, uh, when when the babies are hatching, they need to feed, and because of the less, the nitrogen, calcium ions and everything is less where the planktons feed on, so the planktons are dying. So imagine these little ones which are going through the ocean, they have less food to eat. Already they have like great predators, and now if there are feeding problem, like if they don't get enough food, it's very difficult for them to survive. And especially for this, the green sea turtle are facing more threat because they are very selective eaters, and they are unable to find the proper food they need. And of course, again, the sea turtles are migrating, their migrating patterns have changed a bit, like which is still, because it has to go for a longer period of time, then we can just say that okay, they have been migrated, but there are differences can be seen in their pattern of migration as well. So imagine, it is more threat for these marine creatures. Only 7 species in the world, uh, like they are facing because of the global warming and climate change. That is threatening, and now even in the water, that is also threatening them to survive. So with all this, uh, firstly, like where this ocean acidification have been noticed is happening very quickly. It's in the polar region, the Caribbean area, the Arctic, and the coastal areas. Imagine the polar region, like the two large, especially the Arctic, the huge area it covers. In those areas, this has been happening pretty rapidly. And let us know like why. Because the ocean, like the colder water, actually absorbs more carbon dioxide than the warmer water. So where you can see here, these are the carbon molecule. So what happens is, when like CO2 absorbs in cold water, it like process of dissolving the CO2 in the water releases a small amount of heat, and the colder water can absorb that heat more easily, and favoring the like dissolution of this CO2. So it increases more because it's hold that warm water. Or on the other hand, the warmer water like readily release the dissolved CO2 back into the atmosphere. So that's why the Arctic and the Antarctic, like the polar region, is getting more affected. And imagine, I mean, if anyone have been to our polar bear expedition, you might be seeing like how wonderful that habitat. I mean, and those polar bears, I mean, they are like stunning. No matter which season you have been there or you're planning to go there, it's amazing, really. I mean, I have never been there, but I always like think about it, like how it would look like. And because of this global warming and climate change, they are already losing their like place, the area to place their feet and to be there. But now, because of this change, they're facing more threat. So yeah, Arctic itself is beautiful, not only for the polar bears, but for the other animals, the seals and stuff. They are definitely very amazing to see in their natural habitat. But this, the rate it is happening, the ocean acidification, it's like unprecedented. It's huge how they are affecting. And of course, for the Arctic area, how it is, first of all, the creature over there, the wildlife over there are suffering because of these changes. But also in the human ground, they are affecting at the same rate. Just to give you an example of it, I was just going through. It's like the Alaskan's fisheries. Like, of course, it's a big place to catch all these salmons, which is called char, I guess, although. So they generate a lot of revenue because of these costly fishes, right? People love that, and like, which is nearly and that place is almost like nearly 60% of US commercial fish catch, and it's suppose 100,000 jobs. Imagine the fishes are no longer being found there, and you are going out for fishing and you are not getting it, so you are moving few more 100 miles thinking of getting more fish, like for the emission of more carbon dioxide from your like ships, the fishing vessels. So everything it's coming along with it. So all these changes, of course, it's happening. And if you go through for ocean acidification journals or like reports, you will find a lot more variations, a lot more difference, like how things are happening, where things are happening, and the real causes behind it, and how it is actually deflecting the revenue generation generating for the people who are surviving because of that. You will It will be a broader spectrum to understand. And the other thing is the socio-economic consequences, the social impact on it. So imagine the bigger part of it, like when we talk about the ecological the social impact of it is the food security. Imagine the people who are dependent on the like ocean for their food source. Especially we are talking about the people who are living near the coastal area. It's like their daily thing. They go, it's not always commercial, but some they do go for themselves also to catch fishes. In India, we have one of the largest coastal area, and people out there, they just take their small boat to the sea, catch their fish. Sometimes they catch, they come, they distribute, or it's just go to the local market. So, and the local people are involved in it. It's not the big trawler, big companies and stuff. So it's very basic, and just thrive. The community is thriving because of that. It's from local to local market. No big thing. So imagine the amount of money they get. It's just like a regular income for them. It's like the day they will sell 50 kilos, they will get this much, and someday they might sell 3 kilos. I mean, a huge variation keeps on happening. And so there is a difference of all the problem. And and it is also diminishing the fish stock. I mean, because, and just for to give you a not an example, just a story on that. So because I work in this turtle conservation, and it is I work with freshwater turtles, tortoise and turtles. So because we have to work with a lot of fishermen of the freshwater area, like rivers, some huge lakes, those. And for the last 10-15 years, 15 years before, the kind of stories they used to narrate, that they will go in the morning, they will catch this much, they could exactly, like the fishermen could exactly say that from which part of the river. For example, Brahmaputra, one of the largest river, we get to see it when we do our Grand India trip. So they know exactly at the which bend which species of fish they are gonna get. They were so specific about it that you need this. Okay, you go there. There would be a bunch of fishermen out there. They might be selling this species out there because they are more closer to that area. I mean, they were that specific. But now when I go and talk to them, because a lot of turtle get bycatch in the fishing net, or they also come across the nesting area of the turtles. So, but now when they talk, there is a frightening, expression on their face, that every morning when we go, that what are the species, because the river turtles, they feed on those small fishes, and they say no, there were, like, we didn't get it for 3 days, we have been there, nothing is there, nothing we could find. The places where they used to fish, they don't get fishes over there right now. They have to now leave home for days, or they have to travel on the land to reach a certain area to get some fish. And these are small communities. So imagine, there there brings a lot of differences in opinion and behavior, because one community can't sustain another community if they are coming to the same place, like all of them are coming to the same place. So all these different things are definitely happening. And because of the less amount of fish, or the clams, I mean, whatever they're depending on, because the availability has become less, the pricing has gone way higher than how it was 10 years back. It's not only like the change in you know like the financial differences, but it's also happening because of the availability part of it. And now imagine people who are surviving just of that, they are depending on that protein they are getting from the sea or from the ocean. They are not getting it. They have to survive with different things. So yeah, but very very less percentage completely depend on the ocean, but there are, right? And the like it is actually cutting off a lot of, like, amount of source in the coastal communities. That is definitely happening. And with that, their livelihood is also changing. Loss of traditional fishing, which used to be very high in few areas. And in India, there are like agriculture and fishing. These go like almost hand in hand. They are both happen in a very large scale. But in India, we don't have this huge trawlers and fishing things. Very less. I mean, compared to the local fishermen. So that that is like the traditional thing is going on because they cannot earn much. So they are going out to work in a different laborious job, like building house, or just working for the government, which are the construction projects and all. So people are moving out from those traditional fishing thing. And it also reducing the tourism, like the production of agriculture is getting affected because the high salinity in the water. Even who are living in the estuary side, the estuarine water is containing more like salt than how it was 20 or 30 years back. And of course, they all are facing this economic hardship. And of course, it's not only the story of India. I think a lot of communities are facing all these things because of different reason, but who all are depending on the water source or the ocean. And then it has this economic, consequences. So imagine, first thing which is heading up is the fisheries and the aquaculture. And it's more economically, it is coming as a loss of income for the fishermen, increase like the cost for like mitigation measures. Of course, I mean, they need you, we need money to do anything, right? And also like the disruption of the local economies which are dependent solely on the seafood. I can just I can just imagine like how many people are getting affected for this source. Just the source is getting affected. Imagine the entire community is at stake. And of course, the tourism, which brings a lot of revenue to a lot of countries. I mean, there are few countries which actually run on tourism. For example, Nepal is there, to some extent, India is there, and of course, and many other areas. I mean, these are like closest to me, so I'm just telling Bhutan, though Bhutan is pretty restricted. But imagine all these countries are surviving, people are getting job, and these are like connectivity of job they are getting due to tourism. And tourism in coastal areas like facing the economic decline due to this environmental degradation, of course. And it is not only the ocean acidification, climate change, global warming, this also plays an important role. And it's like the recreational and aesthetic thing are going because those the things which hold on to those areas, like hold on people to those areas, are also getting uh, like demolished. Demolished is a big word though, but it's almost like that, how this climate change and ocean acidification is happening in the rate it is happening. And the values being on the beach, uh, it's definitely changing how it used to be and how it is right now, reducing like the visitors in numbers. Where for example this year, if you just type Goa, so Goa is a beach area in India, in the western part, and it used to be overcrowded during New Year, Christmas. So here is the place where the Portugal has like landed. And so the Christmas and New Year is like a huge thing in Goa. But for last few years, people have like stopped coming there, though they are saying that it is more further because they have hiked up the price so much that people have like they can go outside like Malaysia or Thailand or Indonesia in that price, so they have stopped coming. But the thing is that the local when we talk to the local people, they say that the revenue they used to generate from the ocean has gone down so much. um, and how the people like started gathering near the beach and stuff, they used to have like food stalls, music stalls. This all they cannot afford to get more. So of course this is a huge example which is there right here in my country. And there are other places of course, but that is tourism is definitely affecting. Um, and and because there is a loss of local business. Um, and so and the bigger people who can like launch a lot of money, they can pull the revenue in any way, so that is there. So that's why I think the best part is like wherever we go, I feel so good that whatever we are doing to explore or to experience, it's like the revenue, everything we are generating, like it's all go back to the community, or it's the community get too much from all these trips. So it's like give you a mental satisfaction that yeah, something really good is happening at the same time. So yeah, with that, it's the solutions to like ocean acidification. So we know that a lot of people are I mean there are huge research, um, like panel, a lot of institution, NGOs, government organization, they are working around the world on this specific things, but we always cannot participate in those sectors. They are very specific. But being a common person, what we can do is uh, very simple. It's just to bring it into our habit. Then this is how we can contribute. I mean, the problem is so huge. We might think that one or two-person thinking about it, it's difficult. But I think even if it is a very small matter, I mean, imagine extra carbon ion. Carbonate ion, or the one molecule of carbon dioxide make a lot of difference. So of course it's the same thing happens, and we all know that, and I think we most of us, we do practice as much as possible for us. We are doing it, and it's a very basic thing. In India we have started uh, a lot of things, like the transportation, using public transport. Our public transport is good, especially the city I am in. We have amazing public transport. I mean, in a very small price, you like do all together. So that is a good thing we can do. The carpool or share ride, we all know this. I mean, the electric vehicles, but still it's consuming a lot of energy. But I think it's the most like using the public transport or the carpool or the sharing vehicle. That makes a lot of sense. And we have to be like conserve more energy efficiently. And it's better like turning off the lights, fans, whatever electric appliances you don't need, just to switch it off so that we can conserve that. Using LEDs instead of normal bulbs, that that can reduce the energy thing. And then we have this food and waste, which is huge. Like food, of course, we know. Uh, Huge amount. Just we have to be precise about what we are eating and what we are consuming, what how much we need, and reduce, like recycle the food waste, uh, reuse the bags and the containers, like reusable, not no plastic. Just carrying a simple water bottle, a steel or any thermo water bottle is good enough, like just without buying. Because everywhere in the world there are not many recycling machines. Like recycling industry is huge, but not always it reaches to the right place. So mostly it end up staying in the rivers or in the ocean and everywhere. And how much contamination and it is creating after degradation. So all this, and like if you can insulate your home so that the proper insulation can reduce heating and cooling needs. The eco-friendly cleaning products, mostly the toiletry part of it, what we use to clean our toilets or kitchen. If we right now we have a lot of eco-friendly things, like they come in small dust or small bars. These are like small changes to bring in our lifestyle. That's easier. If you have space, plant more trees. They're always good. And like changing in lifestyles, reduce flights. And of course we have, just like NHA does, like they count their carbon footprint, and then that amount is transferred into a money, and then they like donate that amount of money for the negative, I mean for to the organization who are working on negative carbon footprint. So yeah, those kind of things we can generate, that we can see we can do the calculation. It's easier to do it right now. I mean now in any app you can do it. So maybe not much, but anything we can do, that this is what we can save, this is what we can give back. And the best way is the community involvement, like building up community who if you are living in certain areas, bring that community in together and work on basis like which are the things which can make that area at least less carbon emission emitted areas, or just the pollution control, waste management, and everything. And another part of it is, if you go through papers on or the reports, is just talk to people who can get involved into this, and they can know about what is climate change, what is global warming, what is ocean acidification, what are the consequences which are happening, which maybe right now we are feeling it, we are seeing it, but for our next generation or next to next generation, there we are like making their life or their future in a miserable place. I mean, a miserable one. So yeah, the community involved is important, because one person influencing 10, and those 10 people coming together to work on the same motive, that makes a lot of difference. So yeah, that is how things could be. And with that, mainly people who are working on government sector, or students who are learning or wants to learn on it, it's always welcoming, because right now we need more people who can handle all these things rather than other sectors. So just mitigating ocean acidification, of course, and with ocean acidification, it's climate change comes at the same time. We have to make more strategies and challenges, and it is not only for the people who are working under environmental strategies or conditions. Even if you can think of any idea which is like working in your day-to-day life, there are many sites which you go there, and you can get your ideas over there. Maybe it won't be like you might not get a reply very quickly, but just keep on hammering. Things might work. At least we do those kind of things. You keep on writing emails and letters, just in the hope that someday it will be heard. And people do often, sometimes we do get like some replies, and like we get more notes on it that already a bunch of people are working on it. So yeah, those things are pretty encouraging. And learning the carbon capture and storage, which there are like technical people are like who are environmental technical engineers, they have been already doing that in different countries. People are coming up with new ideas and technology to do that. Of course, we need more of it. And the ocean management, system is huge, and around the world a lot of big ocean companies are like ocean management companies are working on it. Thank you to all of you. I think even who all of you who are there on the other side of this webinar, every people matters. I mean, wherever you are traveling, whatever you are contributing, because everything helps in raising the funds for the natural the environmental management. So yeah, the it's an amazing thing to do, and thank you for like for all this what we all are doing. And yeah, this like all these practices will help it out to at least I don't know, I mean, being in conservation, it is very difficult to say that it's gonna stop, but at least it will slower down the process how it naturally should have happened, rather than pushing like we are the rapid how it is happening. At least we can seize the process for long. That's how it should be. So yeah, with that, I would like to play a video from the Conservation International. It's an organization, an NGO. So they have made few on mountain, earth, ocean, rivers, animals. So I hope it runs. Um,
I am the ocean. I'm water. I'm most of this planet. I shaped it. Every stream, every cloud, and every raindrop, it all comes back to me. One way or another, every living thing here needs me. I'm the source. I'm what they crawled out of. Humans, they're no different. I don't owe them a thing. I give, they take, but I can always take back. That's just the way it's always been. It's not their planet anyway. Never was, never will be. But humans, they take more than their share. They poison me, then they expect me to feed them. Well, it doesn't work that way. If humans want to exist in nature with me and off of me, I suggest they listen close. I'm only going to say this once. If nature isn't kept healthy, humans won't survive. Simple as that. I mean, I could give a damn with or without humans. I'm the ocean. I covered this entire planet once, and I can always cover it again. That's all I have to say.
I hope all of you could hear it. So yeah, I just can search uh, for nature, like for this conservation international, all the like nature is speaking. This is in this under this line they have done all this. So it's really meaningful. It really touches your heart and mind that what is all happening and so clearly been like said. And yeah, so I think till now we have time, we have hope, and I hope we get a lot of thing for our, oh, sorry, for our next generation to just to experience this beautiful art how it was. And I hope it will always be like that. Okay, Rob, I'm ready to take up question.
All right, thank you, Arpita. Now, before we start in with the question and answer session, I would like to remind everyone that you can submit your questions via the question field in your control panel. All right, well, let's get to some of these questions. So, it appears that the President Biden just protected the ocean continental shelf around the U.S. from drilling for oil and fossil fuels. Is that something that will help?
Yes, of course. I mean, any small initiative, whatever is happening on the land. Sorry, Rob, can you come again with the question?
Yes, the president just protected the shelf around the U.S. from drilling and from drilling for oil and fossil fuels. Is that something that will help slow down the
Oh, of
process?
course. Sorry for the first time. It was a little part of the. I guess that the question was this. Thank you for repeating. Yeah, of course. Any small initiative which is coming is a it works really in a bigger picture. So imagine when you were stopping drilling and like getting out the fossil fuel, because those are not creating the for imagine like the fossil fuel are not happening within few years, like they are there for million of years. So preserving them, one, will help. This is one. Second thing is the emission of carbon dioxide for making this all process will reduce the emission of the gas into the atmosphere. Of course, at least these two vital reason I can see that it will help. But yeah, we should encourage more presidents to do all this kind of things, just to shut down few things.
I couldn't agree more. Um, so, are there any new innovative technologies that are capturing CO2 directly from the oceans? Is that something that we can count on?
So in Singapore, they are doing, they have come across few technologies which is helping them out, and mostly the regulation of uh, using the fossil fuel and the change in the use of the land has definitely done a lot of thing, like because they have brought out a lot of other processes which stopping the emission. It's not like they are absorbing more CO2, they are trying to control the emission of CO2 back into the atmosphere, like that they are working on. So they have been successful in a lot of ways. uh, so yeah, there are a few places definitely they have started, the technology is working, but in a smaller spectrum though.
Gotcha. Thank you for clarifying that for us. So, the Earth has gone through major periods of mass extinction before, and despite that the fact that the current changes in temperature and acidification are happening more rapidly, is it happening more rapidly outside of the parameters that have existed before and are still existing to support life?
uh, like who all have existed before?
Well, yes. Is it happening more rapidly than in the past?
Yeah,
Where
so all the okay, so all the changes we have been gone through, right? The planet has gone through. That's that's the question.
Yes, compared to the past, is what's happening now happening more quickly, or is it still within the parameters of what we could expect during this kind of event?
Yeah, so no, it is happening more rapidly. Not only the climate change, the ocean acidification and everything, but even the extinction of the species is almost like 50 times much faster than how it has been happening throughout the changes.
Well, thank you for clarifying that. I think that's important for us to understand that we are speeding it up, aren't we?
Yeah, the mass extinction is happening 50% more. Can you imagine? Like, is jaw-dropping number, like how things are happening so fast.
If it keeps going this way, how long will the Earth be able to sustain life?
Imagine if the ocean acidity can increase 150% by 2100 years. Um, so imagine how fast it's happening. Like now it has in 35 years it has changed to only 35%. And next in when it will be 2100, it can reach up to 150%. So imagine the amount, like the fast it's happening. So yeah, and 150 ocean acidity, imagine how long we can think the people would survive with that.
Well, thank you so much for that.
It's
That's
scary. It's scary. Even for all the viewers who are there, even to you, Rob, even while talking about this ocean acidification in between, I'm so sorry, but I was lost. There's I somehow it's back of my mind. I could figure it out that okay, these all things are happening. I mean, it's really scares you a lot. Like if you go through all the documentaries, all the especially the research papers and stuff, then it feels like okay, maybe our generation will like go smoothly, I would say right now how the condition is, but maybe in next 50 years who would be coming in this world, they're gonna have a hard time. I mean, hardly they would get something. I mean, things will go on, but it's not what we have experienced, how the planet it used to be.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you warning us and educating us on this subject because I think it's very important. Unfortunately, that is going to be the last question that we do have time for today, Arpita. So I'm going to throw it back to you for some closing comments.
Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. It's been a long time. I didn't get a chance to do webinar, but it's always fun to share the thoughts with you all. Have a great, great day and have a great January. And hopefully next time I'll come up soon because from tomorrow I'm starting my Grand India trip and I'll bring some live news from the field to all of you. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and thank you so much, Rob, for hosting it so nicely. And you too have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Arpita. As always, it's a wonderful to have you presenting for us. I'd also like to thank everyone who tuned in today. So if you are interested in information on how you can travel with NatHab, please give us a call at the number on your screen, or you can send us an email at info@nathab.com. Our adventure specialists are happy to help you out. And if you're part of a photo club and would like NatHab to speak to your members about nature and travel photography, email us at webinars@nathab.com. Join us tomorrow for our next daily dose of nature. You can check out this week's lineup, including registration links, on our website at nathab.com/webinars. We did record today's presentation, and we will have the replay available on our website soon. With that, I will conclude the webinar. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next time.